Hi, welcome to Excel. Today we'll talk about the e-date formula in Excel. E-date will always return a date from the start date after n number of months in the future or in the past. Coming to the e-date syntax, e-date, the formula is equal to e-date, start date and months. Let's see the formula, how it works here. Double click on the cell. Now we have entered one formula using e-date. E-date is equal to, so let's enter it again. So e-date is equal to, open the parenthesis, and let's take this cell as the starting date, and which is the value is 3rd January, and just write in the months, just put 1 and close the parenthesis. So it'll give the same date of the next month, since we have given month as 1 in the month argument. So it will give the same date after 1 month, that is 3rd February 2021. Now, if we give 2 months after the same for the e date in the month argument, let's see what it returns is equal to e date, and take this as start date, that is 4th February, and let us give 2 months from today. We want to find out the date from 2 months from this 4th February. What is the date from 4th February? So let enter this, and we have 4th April. So to convert it into the same format, if we can go to more number formats, then just go to the format, just click on this and click OK. So you will get the same. So you're getting n number of months, that is 2 months after February, and it is on the same date. So e-date will return the date, same date, but it will be after n number of months. So similarly, if we write is equal to e-date, and let's take 6 months from here. The start date is 6th March, and if we take 6 months from the start date, so let's see what month we'll get. So the date will remain the same for e-date, but the month will change. So the month is September. Let's change the format here again. Okay, yes. So this is how you get, after 6 months, the e-date will be 6 September 2020. If we want in the previous 3 months, a day before a date that is in the past, which has, in the previous 3 months before date. So is equal to, you have to enter e date, open the parenthesis, give this as the starting date, cell A7, and then write -3, close the parenthesis. So we'll get a date 3 months from today. So it is, since it is April, we are getting in January. So 01. So that is January, and the date will remain the same. So it will give the same date after n number of months or before n number of months. That is what e date, if we have to summarize it. Now, from today's date, how can you calculate the e date? There is a simple formula here. If you want to calculate the e date from today's date, so we'll enter the formula here. E date is equal to e date today and 1. That is 1 month up from today. So we'll enter this formula and see how it works. E date, and give the start date as today. Give a comma, and then after that enter 1 month. Since we want the date after 1 month, the e date will be 40. So we are getting at the date value part here. We're getting the date value part, and let's convert it into a short date. So 1 month from today, so you're going to get in, this was today, now is today's date is 26/1/2026. So we are getting 1 month from now is 26 Feb 2026. Now if it is you want an e-date 1 month before from today, then you have to enter -1, like what is written in the formula. So let's see if we're going to get that result, e-date. Take the today as start date and write -1. And this is the date value part that we have got. And let us convert it into short dates. So we're getting in December, the same date, 26 December 2025. So what is the purpose of using this e-dates? So we're getting the same date, but in other month, which can be before or after other months. So this uh, two columns, these two rows have e-date formula with today formula. What we can do is if it is 6 months, sorry. Now let's enter this one. Now, if it is 6 months, you can just enter six, okay, in the months like this. And if it is 12, 1 year from today, you can just enter 12 as a number in the month document. If it is 5 years, then you have to do a simple multiplication. So suppose the maturity date of a policy, if you have entered or the due date or due date for your loan payment. So in that case, if you want to calculate, not the due date, okay, what is the next due date or the maturity dates in that time, you can calculate this with e-date. So e-date, if you have to calculate with the duration of years, so you take the same e-date formula and then open the parenthesis and take today as a start date, comma, and just since it's 5 years, so we'll multiply 5 into 12 and just close the parenthesis. So we are getting this date as 26/1, 2031. So this is how you calculate the end dates or the e-date formula from today. And how do you enter the e-date formula in you can enter the e-date formula in different ways. Here we have entered it manually, right? And here we can also enter it by referring to the cell. So let's do this one more. E-date is equal to, so, okay, 1 second. We'll take this as 6 months here. Okay, the 6 months, okay, and is equal to e-date. And then we can take the start date as this. Instead of writing the date, or you can just take this cell as a reference. We have given 6 months here. It is the number of months. Okay. So we can take this months as a reference, B8 cell, and press enter. So that is 6 months from today. The E date will be 9/7/2019. So this is how you get the E date formula. Now, this is one method of entering the EDATE formula by referring the cell. The other methods is you can directly also enter the formula like in this format, EDATE is equal to in double quotation marks 31 2025 and write the number of months. So it can be in this format /30/01/2025, or it can be in the other format 30 Jan, the month in shorter format, and 2025, or it can be 30, in the date as well. If you can enter the date the formula, then you have to give the year, then the month, and then the day. So these are other ways where you can enter the date formats in different methods in e-date formula. So either of these formats will work when you enter the e-date formula. So what are the practical applications or real world examples for e-date formula is? It's mainly used to calculate due dates or some policy maturity dates or EMI payment dates or any other, or for example, if you're a stockist or if you're a pharmacist or something like that, okay, FMCG product stockist or medicines that you are one among them, and you want to know what is the expiry date with those stocks. So with the help of e-date formula, you can find out what are the expiry date of your stocks. So let's take the manufacturing date of your product as 22/1/2026, and the duration for expiry is 12 months. So when exactly the day will come? So we have to take the e-date formula and take the reference cell, and then take the months reference cell, which is B37, and then close the bracket and then enter, and we are getting the short date here. Only at a short date. So it is like 2/1/2027 will be the expiry date. So the same formula, we can either write it again and again, or we can just copy it like this. So if I'm going to take this, let me write it again. E date, start date is this. So we're entering this after 24 months. Let's take the relative reference from here, clicking on the cell and just press enter. And let's copy down the formula. We're getting different date value paths. We're getting different date value paths. And we'll convert it into short date. So this is how you work with e-date formulas. Now we will find in the example here how to calculate the maturity date of the insurance policy with e-date formula. Now the duration here is given in years, and the first, sorry, that's not inverted comma, is the first premium date for the insurance policy where you have to, this for these various policies, and the duration of those policies and when they're going to mature. So how do you calculate this? Is equal to, again, you enter the e-date formula and take the start date as this A47, your reference cell, and the number of months will be B47, which has 1 as a cell value, and then press enter. So you're getting maturity date as 19 to 26, but this is only 1 month, right? So there's some problem here. So you cannot take 1 year like that as such. In this condition, you have to take this cell and we'll select the cell again, okay? And then you have to multiply it with 12 because every year we have 12 months, and then we press enter. So now we'll get the maturity date in the year 2027. Okay, now it's 1.5. That is 1.5 month. Okay, sorry, 1.5 year. If the maturity date is up after 1.5 years, so what will be our maturity date? So let's see how the e-date works here. Is equal to e-date, and take the starting cell as reference A48, where 2nd March is the start date, and let's put the number of months as the years as 1.5, number of years as 1.5, and multiply this with 12. Let's see, are we going to, will the idiot function with decimal points, because it is a decimal number, 1.5. 1.5 is a decimal number that we have entered. So it is denoting 1.5 year, half of them, 1 year, 6 months. So let's see if this is going to work out. So this is perfect. We have got after 18 months, that is after 1.5 year, we have this e-date that is on 2nd September 2026. So e-date can work either ways, either with the decimal point as well. Now, if you can see, there is one more. We can even just copy it. Here, the duration is 3 years, 4 years. So we can just copy down this formula rather than entering for each and every cell. Just fill the left mouse button, just drag it, hold it and drag it down, and the formula is copied. So e-date can be useful in finding out different dates of policies, or your due dates for your loan payments, or mainly for stockists or for pharmacists or something, the expiry dates with e-date formula. These are some simple real world examples that you can work around, and try to practice all this e-date formula with different combinations with the help with today, and different dates like 1 month from today or 6 months from today, so that you become more perfect in e-date, and it will be more useful when you are doing a real life project as well. So thank you for watching.